Dave's not here, man.
Coronavirus! Coronavirus! Catch me outside. How about that?
Case closed. Let's get drunk.
All week long. Lisa's still singing. I love it. Welcome to We Got a Case, where D Live just went down. Damn it. All 0 people now are so freaking mad at us. By the way, Mike, this is the first time I've ever done this. Accidentally hit that comment first.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Listen,
I've never seen that before.
We've been doing it. It's there. It's always there. It's the first time I've misclicked it. It's actually the first. It'll always be the first comment ever.
Oh, that's
and
great.
It is the first time. So it's kind of a monumental day. It's the first time I've ever misclicked on that.
I guess it's out. We use StreamYard. There you go. There's your plug for the day. I've been using StreamYard for several years. And one thing I like about it is it doesn't knock you off. It just makes your shit just really slow and weird looking and things like that.
We're not going to start here. Mikey's got something queued up that is live, but just happened. We'll jump over there. Looks like an interesting court anyways.
Yeah, we're going to go to Yolo here in a minute. But Creed, this is a pretty interesting setup these guys have. Got the old chalkboard over there in case you might want to run a football play or two.
Absolutely. Flusha. Always is something good.
Flusha always into something good.
Oh, we love us, our sovereign citizens. Yeah, looks like we got something pretty important. Yeah, look at all the evidence on the desks. I'm guessing that the bad guys right here, considering, or I guess, well, we talked about this. It's not a wedding. As far as where people sit, you know what I mean? I always think that it's like if you're for the defendant or if you're for the plaintiff, you sit in a certain spot. But I guess that's really not a thing, I guess.
It's really not. It's more of like, sit wherever you want. Apparently, these people hate that guy over there with the glasses on and just do not want to sit with him ever.
I guess it's possible that maybe he's a little gassy from out, it's after lunch.
Or maybe he is just there and no one. Oh, Flusha definitely is not on the train anymore. You throw him off.
All rise, order in the court. Yeah, I'm ready to jump over whatever. Terminator, good to see you, Bud. Sharon, Daryl's here. Viking. Carol is watching with us. That is an empty monetary monorail.
Well, it's just the way it is. Great.
Born and Fire Cap, great to see you.
All right, we jump on over here. I kind of want to come back to this courtroom. Something's definitely interesting.
Let's just watch for 2 minutes.
You want to watch it and turn it on? All right, let's do that. Mine's not going anywhere.
See what's going on. We don't typically get into big cases because it's not like we have the time.
Posted that you put on the building, correct?
Correct.
Doesn't it say uninhabitable? Keep out uninhabitable?
Yes.
Uninhabitable.
Put a poster on there. It said that the building was uninhabitable.
Correct?
Unhabitable.
Have I been in the house at that time?
Yes.
No,
So why did you say it was uninhabitable?
because of the reports I had from our police department and no one had returned any of my calls.
Loud is now the asshole
Any of my
police.
tags.
So when you say property is what does the code
Tiff?
or the ordinance says about a piece of property being uninhabitable?
There's a lot of definitions to it.
Okay, well, give me those definitions.
What definition?
You didn't bring that.
No, I did not.
Thank you, you two. Thank you.
Salt of the earth.
Thank you. Sorry for the very loud hallelujah. I had it cranked up because he was kind of low. Yeah. You're welcome. Just want to make sure everybody's woke up,
Get woke, y'all. So I don't know what the case is about still. We had a guy on the stand that's telling us a place is an uninhabitable.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
trying to stay there, trying to live there, maybe.
So each time that you were there, you never took any.
Just with my place, I take pictures of.
This is Judge Marble's area, isn't it?
Yeah, we watched Judge Grogan's yesterday. He's the one that looks like Max Headroom.
Oh, is this his courtroom? Just a different camera?
Yeah, you just got turned around to the courtroom.
All right. Moving way too slow. Let's jump over to what you got and let's do
What
that.
I have may be moving way slow too, but you know what? I turned it on. It looked interesting.
Thank you, Dallas.
Don't never let anybody tell you you're bringing up the rear. Ever.
Right. Chad, happy Thirsty Thursday on We Got a Chase today at 4:05 East.
Let's just check it out.
Check it out.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll probably have to reach out to probation to find out what the status is. So I'll make a note of that.
I think
Hell yeah, 5 months
notice of
power
appear.
stroke.
we won't take any.
Well, hello there,
action on
Mr.
Mandatory
Briggs.
supervision.
Well, he's in the bathroom.
Nice
Since
goatee.
there's nothing filed under the new
He's
case.
shirtless like Ragu Monkey.
22-29,
And he's on the
this
shitter.
warrant will
All right.
issue
Fantastic.
$1,000.
That's how I go
Dropping
to
in-
court.
Well, the Briggs matter. I see that
Yes.
Mr. Briggs is present on
Thank
Zoom.
you. Mr. Briggs, can you hear me?
Yes,
Would you do me a favor and put on a shirt while you're appearing in court? And then we'll.
Yes.
Case.
yes, I can.
Thank you.
1 second.
In the meantime, I'll call Augustus Perez.
He didn't say anything about
has
pants.
4 new cases.
Just a shirt. Who's
Previously
that?
published under client, Your Honor, as to one of those cases, no information for the court.
Thank you.
No shirts.
No shirts. Shirtless dad said no shirts, baby. Judge Mark Harmon. He's definitely got Mark Harmon
This is
hair.
a case where law enforcement apparently cited him on a warrant, but didn't get a signed notice to appear. The warrant was mistakenly recalled based on that. In case 22-1690, the warrant will be reissued, $10,000.
Back on the toilet.
In case
This is where he does his best work.
19-5778, doesn't look like there's anything pending.
Yes, my notes are correct. I believe probation in that case should have been terminated per AB 1950.
All right, probation is terminated. Case 22
People call us juvenile. What the
1936,
hell are
there's a
they
signed
talking
notice to
about?
appear for November 1st. We'll keep that date. Case 22-2926, there's a signed notice to appear for November 15th. We'll keep that date. Case 22-2928, there's a notice to appear November 17th. We'll keep that date. All right. Recalling Mr. Briggs.
Correct.
I'm glad you made it today. We already recalled your case, but we'll recall it.
C.
There is a violation of probation that's been filed, alleging that you violated your probation by failing to complete an 18-month alcohol education class. You have a right to be represented by a lawyer. Would you like to be represented by a lawyer?
Yes,
The court would appoint the public defender.
Can you put a shirt on?
On behalf of Mr. Briggs, I acknowledge receipt of the VOP in 1967, waive formal reading and advisement of rights, enter denials at this time, and if I could address Mr. Briggs very briefly.
Yes.
Mr. Briggs, good morning. You have a right to a hearing on this case. My recommendation is that We continue this matter 4 weeks so that once you get assigned a specific attorney in my office, you have an opportunity to meet with them and discuss ways in resolving this case so that this VOP can be dismissed. Is that all right with you, sir?
Yes.
My recommendation, please get a pen and paper handy. I'm going to give you our main phone number.
Is a number
so
2
that
pencil
you
okay?
can call
He
our
said, "Don't
office
worry,
and
I've
provide
got
us
all
with
the
proper
paper you
contact
need. Go
information for us
ahead,
to reach you.
Chris.
Yes.
It is 530
Yes,
Okay.
Nancy, he sure is.
666
Yes.
He ain't writing shit
8165.
down.
Okay.
530-666-8165. As soon as you sign off Zoom, please call that number and provide our main line with your name
Yep.
and contact information. Your attorney will be.
You
with you
gotta
soon.
ask again.
And
Yeah.
Your Honor,
Okay.
You
please
said that
come
again.
back and.
Sorry about that. I just called and they told me to get on Zoom.
That's fine, Sarah. So give them a call back with your updated contact information.
Well,
And
Janet,
Your Honor, if we could come back for admit deny in 4 weeks.
Janet.
Your Honor,
Good to
may I
see ya.
suggest that we keep this in this department? People's offer would be if he shows proof that he's been reinstated in the 18-month program, then people will dismiss the VOP in the interest of justice. I just don't want to clog up the trial department unless there's a reason to do that.
The reason I make the request, Your Honor, is our
Not in the
office
Circle K
rotates
bathroom,
through this
Mike.
department, whereas Mr. Briggs would have a specific attorney
That is
to be able to work with him. But if the court would like to, and if that offer is contingent on staying in this courtroom, then I can reach out to Mr. Briggs after court and handle that.
after he washes his hands, hopefully.
All right, well, first of all, the court is going to re-refer him to an 18-month alcohol education class. So if he's wants to re-enroll, if he's not enrolled and he wants to re-enroll before his next court date, he can do that. That'll be reflected on the minute order that he's re-referred. Let's keep it here for one more time. 4 weeks, November 3rd, 9 o'clock. Mr. Briggs, I'll release you on your own recognizance on the condition that you obey the conditions of your probation. You accept
I'm
OR
home,
with
Your
that condition?
Yes.
All right.
I'm not in trouble at all. I'm in the bathroom.
Anything else we need to address today?
I don't believe
Quick
so. Mr.
question.
Briggs, just call our number so that you have that contact
This
information.
dude
We
was
have that
never
contact
on with
information. I'll be in
the,
touch with you shortly.
Okay.
All right, take care, sir.
The name and him and the way that he speaks is very
Brandon Briggs?
reminiscent of a case that we've seen with him and maybe his sister.
You talking about
Or-
the guy whose sister had brought him up on wanting him to pay for a car he wrecked and all this other stuff? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I almost feel as if we've seen him before. Jesse, welcome.
He does have
Canada.
Canada, you say?
It's about time you made it here. Hey,
Send me some syrup. That goatee, man, you just don't forget it.
yeah, it's true.
Sir.
You too.
All
Oh
right.
God, careful. That was close. Did you see that go down? I just wanted to jump over to Marbles real quick. He's got something pretty serious going on. Look at this guy over here. I'm not sure what's going on. We'll
Let's
jump
find
back to
out.
that in just a second.
All right, so the record's clear. You held your son down, correct? Sir. And it got too aggressive at one point, correct? Yes, sir. And more than was necessary to get the situation under control, correct? Sir. I think we've met a factual basis.
Where did this happen? Which is located where? Is that in the city of Flint?
Somebody was fighting.
With his son, and I hope it's not like a young. I'm
Hopefully
hoping
it's
this is. I'm hoping this is the
Mr. Bowles or
son.
anything?
Yeah.
No, Your Honor, I would agree that would satisfy the factual basis.
It's a lot of good court in Yolo.
I find
Bob.
there's a valid factual basis to support the plea. It's knowing, voluntary, and
It-
accurate.
It looks like he is, but
So we would defer the sentencing in this matter. You'd be on a probationary period for a year.
What?
I am gonna have to get a pre-sentence report.
I swear we've seen him. I'm gonna look back later.
And hear from the probation department regarding all of this.
It's an electric chair that they use for instant justice.
We need one of those.
I remember his name. I kind of remember his like cadence in his voice too. But I think that it was. I don't think it was that one. I think that it was
What I'm
I'm-
gonna do is just set a sentencing date
I'm
about-
thinking
a couple in about, early December,
it was a protective order thing.
and then we'll go through the probationary period, the terms of the probation. Where are you living now, Mr. Gary?
I got a terrible
So you
memory.
were
That's
not
pretty
living with your
obvious.
son? Right.
Is he getting ready to sentence him?
He said something about probation. I'm like, what the hell are we talking about probation for?
We'll do this December 5th, 2022 at 9 a.m.
If you got some, this is kind of
Give me just one sec.
a little boring.
Okay.
Not so invested.
All right. How old are you?
Uh-oh.
Are you employed? What were you doing? How long have you done that?
Not long. Just started learning how to do it.
Where did you do before that?
Working at Tyson factory.
It's a what?
Factory.
A factory.
I was a hand model.
Okay.
Margie? Mary Lou Wooten Fitzgerald, welcome.
Hey, everybody.
How's things over there on the Facebooks?
All right. You said you want to be heard about bond?
Your Honor, if I can inquire of the court, what is Mr. Gary's bond on this matter currently?
Well, it looks like it's 1,000 at 10%. Is that right?
Yeah, it might be.
Looking at it.
If he's not, I think he's got on both sides of the chair. I'm almost certain it looks like he is. It doesn't look like he's like
He might be cuffed like right here about his hips. He might have that chain around his waist and he can put his hands on the chair a little bit.
On this case.
Yes.
He informs me he believes his bond on the probation violation is 1,010%. I think he's telling me.
If you want to jump, I've got a guy on the witness stand and I'm guessing a criminal writing a poem.
He approached my brother too, and he went after him too.
And did that cause you concerns for your brother's safety?
Yes.
And after the defendant's mother got involved, and did the parties separate? Did you and the defendant separate at some point?
Is for just above breaking news.
Ghost judge.
Yes,
ghost
a
judge.
couple more questions, Your Honor.
Woo.
Was Mr. Guzman in your backyard trimming your mother's trees?
Yes.
Okay.
Your mom's bush.
And he came back with a hammer to your residence, is that correct?
Oh, a hammer.
Everything wouldn't happen. What I said in the front yard first.
After you injured his mother, is that correct?
Yes. After.
Argumentative.
Answer the question.
After it was everything, and his mom said, "Go back inside." He told his son, "Go back inside," and he came back with the hammer. That's him. Rodolfo came back with the hammer.
And he came back with the hammer after you injured his mother, correct?
Objection as to the phrasing, Your Honor. And it assumes facts, not an evidence. It assumes she was injured.
Does assume a fact, not an evidence sustained.
Yeah, he came with the hammer.
Let her ask you another question.
Okay, go ahead.
No further questions at this time, but it would be subject to recall.
Nothing further.
All right, Mr. Vega, you can step down. Please wait in the hallway. We'll let you know when we finish,
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Bennett, do you have another?
I do, Your Honor.
Same court.
Seems like a pretty serious situation
Definitely.
here.
Guy in the stripes there in the corner. This is a different shot of one of the double dirty type places there.
Yeah, this is one of the cookie cutter courtrooms they
Over
have.
there and then have a seat in that chair up there, please.
We got another witness coming in. We're going to talk more about this hammer.
Please, Hammer, don't hurt him.
Right about there, face the clerk, raise your right hand. Solemnly state the testimony you shall give entire half before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Thank you, sir. If you would have a seat right up here.
Please don't knock over our $10 fan.
Oh my God. That's terrible.
Just close to that microphone as you come to the stand. Both boys can ask you some questions.
Okay.
Mr. Brennan?
Thank you, Your Honor. Morning, sir.
It's
Would you
Juan
please state and spell your
Slops.
name for the record?
Horacio, Horacio, Vega, Vega.
Mr. Vega, can you scoot a little closer and pull the microphone down?
So I'd like to draw your
Close to your
attention
mic,
to
Judge.
July 13th, 2022 at around 3 p.m. Do you recall an incident in the area of 501 East F Street in Turlock that led to your speaking with the police?
Yes.
And what happened that led to your speaking with the police, sir?
Well, first of all, I was just
Shout out.
inside my truck. He came, tried to
Say he, who are you referring to?
Rodolfo.
And do you see that person in court today?
Yes.
Could you please identify him by where he's seated and the item of clothing he's wearing?
That candy
there.
corn
Orange
looking
and white.
motherfucker
White.
right over there.
In the record reflect the witness is
The
identified.
guy dressed like a
The record
criminal.
will so reflect.
And so you were in your truck and you said the defendant came, where did he come?
Well, I was about to leave my mom's house. He came up to me right on the window, and he's he told me, "Hey, cheats," because they call me cheats.
Cheats?
Yeah, cheats.
CHEATS?
Yeah, cheats.
Okay.
He's
With a
hey,
Z.
I want to
Oh,
talk
he's
to
a
you,
cheat.
and he's okay. He's hey, cheats. I don't know why. He's
Someday, flush.
I don't know. He's if I get down like this or something like that. And then I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's yeah, you jumped my backyard. And I was about to leave, and my mom was there. Everybody was at my house, and I never jumped in his backyard. But he told me that I did. And then I thought he was gonna sucker punch me. I got off the truck.
So you got out of the truck at some point?
Yeah, because I felt like a bad vibe, you know.
So are you talking him through the window at this point?
My window was rolled down, so he came up to the window like this,
And for the record, he's indicating with an elbow sort of
inside the window, you know, like.
on the-
And then he told me, I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Yeah, I didn't know you get down like this." And then I tried to open the door. When I opened the door, my brother told him to stop, you know, like he thought we were gonna fight or something. So I opened the door. He grabbed the knife. He was gonna go towards me. I ran a little. I ran. When I ran, I seen my brother and him already going at it. You know. So
Okay, and so when did you see the knife first?
when
When did you
they,
first see the
Hold
defendant
on.
with the knife?
Mr. Vega, if you would let him finish his question
okay.
before you start the answer, because the lady sitting down here has to write down
Oh,
everything.
gotcha. I don't know.
And it's easier for her
Okay.
if we talk
I've never heard of
one at
court.
a time.
Sorry.
Okay.
Try it again.
Thank you. When did you first see the defendant with the knife?
Whenever I was gonna get off the truck, I seen it.
And,
So
and you're sort of raising your right hand. So did you see him pull a knife out of his pocket?
from the back of his pocket.
From the back of his pants?
Yeah.
Okay, so you had a back pants pocket?
Yeah, or somewhere in the bell or something. I don't know where it came from.
So somewhere from behind his
Yeah.
body? So he pulled out a knife. Do you remember which hand he was using?
Oh, the right one?
Right hand? And
If you
what did
looked
he
at
do
the
with the
picture,
knife
you
after
know
he
it was
pulled
the
out?
right hand.
Well, he was gonna go towards me. So
When you say he was going to go towards you, did he make any movements?
he was already going like this. So I turned around.
And the court reporter has to be able to write down
Yeah.
the movement. So I'm going to try to describe it to the best of my ability. You moved your torso sort of in a forward motion. Is that what you saw the defendant do?
Yeah.
All right. And did he make any movements with his hand holding the knife at that time?
No, he just had it.
He's holding it in his right hand,
Yeah.
and kind of moves his torso
Yeah.
forward. And then what happened next?
I turned around. I ran a little bit because he was going to come towards me. And then
And how far was he when he pulled out the knife from you?
maybe like 5 feet, 5, 6 feet.
And when you ran around, where did you run around?
Like towards the garage.
Okay, so you ran around your vehicle?
Yeah.
Towards the garage?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, what happened next?
And then when I turned around, because I knew my brother was there too. So when I turned around, I seen he was going to go attack my brother too. So that's when my brother grabbed something because he was already going towards my brother. My brother grabbed some pruning scissors. So he tried to, he hit him so that because he had a knife because he was going towards my brother too. So then they were fighting, and then it started like going towards the middle of the street. So that's when his mom came, tried to stop the fight, but he still had a knife, and his mom told him stop. So he didn't want to stop. So my brother kept on he hit him. So this is when I told him just stop. I'm going to call the police. So
Who did you tell that to?
I told my brother and him I'm going to call the cops. And then they stopped. And then his mom said, "Go inside the house. I'm gonna go call my husband."
Who did she say that to?
She told me to take my mom and my brother inside the house, so that way he would stop. So then next thing you know, I told my mom and my brother, "Let's go inside the house. The cops are already gonna come." So then that happened. His mom left to go pick up his dad, and he comes back with the hammer. So I seen him from the kitchen window that he was already coming towards the house. I locked the front door, and then he goes around the house for the back door, and I call 911 again. He's coming back with the hammer. He's all stay put. The cops should be on the way. So next thing you know, the cops were coming in front of the house. He was coming on the side of the house with the hammer. And I think that's when a cop told him, like
cops arrived.
Yeah, that's when.
All right,
Hope you had a good
I want to
birthday.
get a little more detail about what you saw between your brother and the defendant. When you ran around your vehicle towards the driveway, did you at some point look back to see what the defendant was doing?
Whenever I ran, that's when I turned to see if my brother was going to be okay. And I guess that's when I seen him go like that to my brother.
And for the record, he's indicating a sort of stabbing motion with his right hand.
Yeah.
I want you to describe that in as much detail as possible.
Well, he tried to like poke him with the knife.
All right.
So
And when you say he, are you talking about the defendant?
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. And so I'll refer to him as the defendant. Okay?
Yeah.
The man in the striped jumpsuit. So you saw the defendant try to stab your brother?
Uh-huh.
And what's your brother's name?
Guillermo Vega.
That's the guy who was just here.
Yeah.
All right. So you saw the defendant try to stab your brother, and you kind of did a motion with your hand again, and I believe that was sort of a forward thrusting motion.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right.
Mr. Brennan, I'm going to ask you to try and slow down just a little.
Boy, if we cut this up, this could
All
be
right.
a hell of a
So,
hustler note thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so by the time, let's write that. What did you see next in as much detail as possible?
Well, when I seen him went like that,
All this started from him being accused of jumping their fence.
Yeah.
When he jumped the fence, did he like murder the family? I mean, what is it that, because he jumped, apparently they think cheats here jumped the fence of the defendant. Now the defendant approached cheats with a knife. Then his brother went and got a pair of clippers and started fighting him. Then the other brother went in and got a hammer and come out. I mean,
it's yeah. Oh, again, stay out of their yard.
Don't be jumping fences. We're gonna do it like this, huh, cheats?
Driveway?
it was sideways in the driveway. It was still in the driveway.
And did you already start to reverse out of the driveway?
No, I was about to start it.
Okay. And he approached your side window,
Yeah.
Mr. Guzman?
Yeah.
Okay, and then he asked you if you'd been in his backyard
Yeah.
and you started to get out of your truck immediately?
No, I told him, what are you talking about?
So that you did not get out of your truck
No.
immediately?
No.
Okay. But you did start to get out of your truck, is that correct?
Yeah, because I felt a bad vibe, like he was gonna punch me.
And your brother also got in between you and Mr. Guzman, is that correct?
He had
Or was that you?
bad vibes as well.
What do
Did you get in between
He was in a
you and your
truck worried
brother
about
and
being
Mr.
punched.
Guzman?
Yeah, when I told him to stop, like stop it already.
At any point, did you and your brother walk towards Mr. Guzman?
I tried to stop my brother so that way they could stop
So
fighting.
you tried to stop your brother?
Yeah.
Okay. And your brother was going towards him, is that correct?
Oh, yeah, because he still had a knife.
Your Honor, it's really unclear which part of the incident we're talking about at this point.
The objection is sustained. Try again, please.
After you got out of your vehicle,
Mhm.
you tried to stop your brother from going towards Mr. Guzman, is that correct?
No, you're saying that.
Hold on. The answer is no. Let her ask you another question.
I hate that.
This judge is on it though. Just
Yeah, she's-
listening to every little thing.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure I have this correct. I got to be able to see this.
Mhm.
You get out of your vehicle, your truck. You shut the door? Yes?
I don't recall. I don't
He's
think
not
I
a
did.
good wit. He's
And
a
at
bad
that
witness.
point, where do
You leave it open, right? I mean,
Yeah,
if
you
you're gonna fight,
get
leave the
out.
door open.
Yeah, if you're in such a worried that something's going to happen, you want
You don't
to
have
keep
time.
it up in case you got to jump in.
See, good lawyer. I like what she's doing. She's kind of picking it apart a little bit here and there and trying to restructure the story to make sure that it's. I like the little details because it's true. Who would take their time? Like if he was being aggressive, right?
Right.
If he was being a little bit aggressive.
The one thing I don't get, if you're feeling threatened and you're in a vehicle, don't you just put it in reverse and leave?
Well, yes, of course. Absolutely. I mean, why would you even get out? That's the other thing that I don't understand. Do you think you're going to be punched like while you're inside of a vehicle? Roll your window up.
And he's got a knife at this point too. You see, he's got a knife. He's brandished a knife.
And assumes facts, not an
What a
evidence.
story.
I don't know.
Hold on. If the lawyers interrupt, give me a chance to tell you whether or not you need to answer.
Okay.
The objection is sustained. Ms. Hankins, please try again.
you are standing next to your truck?
Mhm.
Is that a yes?
Yes,
Thank you.
Where is Mr. Guzman standing?
in front of me.
I'm sorry, is that in front of you?
Yeah, like a couple feet.
Or the
And
truck.
your brother is standing behind Mr. Guzman
No, my brother on the left side.
on the left side?
On the left side of your truck or on the left side of Mr. Guzman or on the left side of you?
On the left side of me.
Okay.
Okay, so we're out of the truck.
Yeah, we've made our
Brother to the
grand
Well, actually,
exit.
can I say?
Uh-oh.
The truck is like this. The driveway is like this.
He said it was
So
parked side.
I'm right here, and my brother.
Okay,
if,
sir.
If I'm facing the other way, it could be the right.
Somebody go over that other courtroom, get that nice green.
We are
chalkboard.
facing your house.
Mhm.
Hold on a second.
This is.
Wait a minute, please. Mr. Vega, I
Hold
have
up.
to ask you to
Wait a
please say
minute.
yes or no instead of uh-huh or because those are hard for her to write.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, and just a second, Mr. Brennan, you have, looks like a witness here.
Yes.
Witnesses have been excluded, so I'm going to ask you to wait outside, please.
So in
Okay,
other
go
words,
ahead,
get
Ms.
that
Hankins.
out.
If we are looking at your house,
Okay.
your truck is parked in the driveway, correct?
Yeah.
So the left side of your truck would be facing the house like,
Yeah.
okay,
He didn't
Why don't
wanna
we
leave
use
his
driver's
brother.
side and passenger side of the truck in order to be clear?
thank you. So your brother Guillermo was standing on the left side of your truck?
Yeah.
Would that be the passenger side or the driver's side?
Driver's
Sorry,
side.
Your Honor, you just told me that on the driver's
Yeah.
side? Okay. How many feet away from the truck was Mr. Guillermo standing?
Like 5 feet.
Mhm.
Okay. Where was Mr. Guzman standing?
Uh-huh.
On, well, behind my, like, on the side of the bed of the truck, like on,
So he was standing at the rear of the truck on the driver's side?
like Close to the driver's side, a little bit back.
I think the lawyer is confused too. We're all a little confused by this.
Is that at the rear of the truck on the driver's
He's
side?
never going to get this figured out.
Yeah, on the
No.
driver's side.
No, we're
By
past.
like the gas tank or whatever. I don't know how many feet is that.
Okay.
The gas tank.
And you were standing in between Mr. Guzman and your brother Guillermo, is that correct?
I wasn't in between. If he's on the left side, so
She's trying to get him on.
She's trying to.
At
she's
some
trying to make him
point,
say
did
that they had,
you
like,
and your
cornered
brother
him.
advance towards Mr. Guzman?
when I advanced to him, whenever I try to stop my brother when they were fighting.
Okay. So at that point, he did not have a knife in his hand, is that correct?
He still had a knife.
So you went towards him, seeing a knife in his hand?
I got off the truck.
All right, I'm going to stop with that and say this real quick as somebody that has a brother. If I see somebody, my brother's fighting with somebody, I don't care if he has 10 knives, I'm going to run over there and try and do something to either A, help my brother beat this guy's ass or get this guy off my brother. One of the two.
So it makes sense why he didn't jump in his truck and leave, because the brother's there and then there was a fight. So that makes sense. And so is that the angle that this lawyer's trying to take? Is trying to trip him up on something, basically?
Yeah, she's going to try and make him feel like she wants us to believe these two guys. My client may be an aggressor, but these two guys escalated it to what it become.
She's doing a pretty decent job, because now she's made his story look terrible.
Yeah.
I mean,
but this stupid question, you went towards him and he had a knife? How dare you?
And it went towards the street.
It went towards the street.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. No further questions at this time?
Mr. Brennan?
Thank you. So to clear things up a bit, we talked about stepping out of the vehicle and the defendant pulling a knife out and then moving towards him, right?
Yeah.
And your truck, was it facing forward? Was the front end of the truck facing the house, or was the front end of the truck facing the street?
Towards the house.
Towards the house.
Yeah.
And all right.
That was easy.
So the part where the defense attorney asked you a lot about you're sort of stepping in between the defendant and your brother.
Yeah.
So I want to clear that up a bit. That happened later, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So the point where that happened was when they were already in the street?
Could you repeat that again?
Where were your brother and Mr. Guzman when you went towards them in order to break up the fight?
They were still in the driveway.
Okay. And was that after the defendant had tried to stab your brother?
Well, they started fighting on the driveway, then they were going towards the street.
Okay. And so earlier you kind of walked me through what happened step by step. So I'm trying to figure out where in that time sequence you tried to break up the altercation. So was it after the defendant tried to stab your brother that you tried to separate him, or was it before?
I tried to stop him whenever I see my brother with the pruning scissors hitting him. So I just tried to keep
it. And that
for
was
him to hit
after,
him.
sorry to interrupt you, and that was after the defendant had tried to stab your brother?
Yeah.
Correct? Okay. So the defendant tries to stab your brother hits him with the pruning shears in the head, is that right?
Yeah.
And then you step in to try to separate them?
Yeah.
I think that pretty much clears it up.
Mr. Brennan, are you done?
Yes.
The brother's on the right, though, there, no?
Isn't it true that Mr. Guzman had a beer in his hand at the time?
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
No.
And
No, the cerveza, it was a Corona. I'll be RB.
when you say they were fighting, are you talking about Mr. Guzman and your brother Guillermo?
Yeah.
And was your brother also punching him?
Objection assumes facts not in evidence.
How can you punch
Hold on.
somebody when you have?
Hold on a
pruning scissors?
second. The objection is overruled. You can answer the question. Was your brother punching him? Yes or
No.
no?
No.
No.
No further questions at this time.
Mr. Brennan?
So by fighting, you're referring to the defendant trying to stab your brother and your brother hitting the defendant over the head with the pruning shears?
Yeah.
Nothing further.
Ms. Hankins?
Nothing further at this time.
Okay, thank you. You can step down. If you would wait in the hallway and not discuss your testimony with anyone else until we're finished, okay?
fine.
Thank you. Mr. Brennan?
Thank you. People call Officer Rios.
Okay, is this going to be your last witness?
On direct, yes.
All right, can we call for the interpreter, please, for the defense witness? All right, we'll take the people's next witness.
We're going to need an interpreter for the defense's witness. Oh, boy. Again, why does it matter that he went over the fence?
Yes.
What happened if he did go over the fence? Did something happen supposedly in the backyard? Sounds like simple trespassing.
Morning, sir. Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
Dominic Rios, Dominic, last name Rios.
How are you employed, sir?
Employed with the city of Turlock as a law enforcement officer
And how long have you been a California peace officer?
since February 11th when I was sworn in.
And did you attend an academy?
Hold on.
February 11th, 2022.
Did you attend an academy to become a peace officer?
Yes,
In that academy, did you take a course on investigating and reporting on cases and testifying at preliminary hearings?
yes,
Was the course POST certified?
yes,
Did you pass the course?
yes,
Were you on duty as a Turlock police officer on July 13th, 2022, a little after 3 p.m.?
yes,
And were you dispatched to the area of 501 East F Street in Turlock?
yes,
Is that location in Stanislaus County?
yes.
And what did you see when you got there?
When I first got there, I saw Officer Lupe cuffing Guzman.
And do you see Guzman in court today?
I do.
Would you please identify him by where he's seated and the item of clothing he's wearing?
Sitting to my right-hand side in an orange and white striped suit.
Identifying Mr. Ramos seated in court.
Thank you. And did Officer Lupe tell you about his contact with the defendant?
He stated he was coming out from the backyard area and had a hammer in his hand. And when he told him to drop it, he did, and he complied with orders.
And at some point, did you speak with the defendant?
Yes,
And while you were speaking with him, did you notice anything about his appearance that, specifically his facial appearance, that got your attention?
I noticed he had blood on his face, and then he also had a white saliva
Uh-oh.
buildup in the corners of his mouth.
And based on your training and experience, why did the white saliva build up on the sides of his mouth get your attention?
He's rabid.
Based on my training experience, that white saliva buildup is caused by a use of drugs in close proximity of time.
I'm gonna object, calls for speculation.
It's overruled.
Ooh.
And did you search the defendant?
I did.
What, if anything, did you find during your search?
I found a dollar bill folded up. And when I unfolded that, it was a white powdery substance inside.
And based on your training and experience, what did you believe that substance to be?
Cocaine.
Did you find it?
Cocaine down to the ground, cocaine.
Do you recall like length of the knife or any description to the best of your ability?
Can I refer to my report?
Yes, refresh your memory, drawing your attention to the bottom of that page 2 of 3. And I'll rephrase my question. Was it a folding or a non-folding knife?
It was a non-folding kitchen knife.
I have nothing further.
Ms. Hankins?
Okay, and how many officers responded to that incident on July 13th, 2022?
I'm unsure of the exact number.
Were you the lead investigating officer?
I was.
Okay. And when you arrived on scene, you found Mr. Guzman bleeding from the head, is that correct?
Yes.
And he told you that he confronted one of the next door neighbors about someone going into his house, is that correct?
Correct.
Now the house.
And he told you that when he confronted Horatio Vega, that he felt like both Horatio and Guillermo Vega were stepping towards him, were going to beat him up. Is that correct? Attack him?
He didn't say anything about beating him up. He said they were coming towards him.
And that he felt like they were going to attack him?
Yes.
Okay. And then he told you that he tried to take out a knife, but he couldn't. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that's because they hit him in the head with the tree trimmers?
I'm unsure why he couldn't get the knife.
Gardening shears.
They're lucky they didn't use that in other ways.
Yeah,
That-
like he thinks.
And then Amelia Ramos, Mr. Guzman's mom, she tries to intervene. Is that correct?
Yes.
And
Hold on, are you asking for him to recount what your client said or from some other information?
He
did you
wasn't there.
interview Miss Amelia
I did not.
Ramos? No. Did another office?
Yes.
Officer?
A Spanish
Okay.
speaking
That was
officer
almost
did.
like line of questioning, as if he was.
And did you get any
he was a
kind
witness.
of
Yeah.
report from the other officer that interviewed Amelia Ramos?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
I always love when they whisper in court and you can hear them.
So you never talked to Amelia Ramos about what happened?
I vaguely tried to talk to her about her injuries when fire was on scene with her, but realized there was a language barrier and couldn't properly communicate.
Okay.
What do we need an interpreter for?
And when you interviewed Miss Guillermo Vega, he told you that
Defendant
he hit him with the
witness?
plastic side of the tree trimmers. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. But did you believe him?
I had no reason not to believe him.
Relevance. Move to strike.
It's overruled. The answer stands. I had no reason to believe him, or I had no
I had no
reason.
reason not to believe him.
And at some point you cut off the audio to your body worn camera. Is that correct?
Correct.
Uh-oh.
And
There we
you
go.
and another officer were examining Mr. Guzman's head, his injuries.
Correct.
And the other officer told you that it looks like it's from the metal tip. Is that correct?
I don't recall that.
You don't recall?
You stupid bastard.
And Mr. Guzman and Amelia Ramos were the only two people who were actually injured that day. Is that correct?
Objection, lack of personal knowledge.
Overruled. You can answer if you know.
I believe Guillermo was struck in the head as well, but did not go anywhere or transported in the ambulance.
Did he show any visible signs of injuries?
Not that I can remember.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Brennan? Okay, you can step down. Thank you. People, right?
I mean, he came into their yard.
Ms. Hankins, would
started
you
all
like to
this
call any
stuff.
witnesses?
Yes, I'll call Miss Amelia Ramos. And I believe we have the interpreter.
We do have the interpreter.
That's a big deal
Vasquez.
for
Mr.
him
Vasquez,
cutting
what
it off,
is your,
right?
no, Valdez. Mr. Valdez, what is your certification number?
301620.
All right, the next witness will be assisted by the Spanish language interpreter, Mr. Valdez, who's a certified interpreter of
Why?
Spanish and English with an oath on file and a certification number of 301620.
God bless.
Mr. Valdez, are you here?
Take your time.
Just if you would come right up here, about where the hand sanitizer is. No, this way. Right there is good. Face the clerk, please.
Please, for God's sakes, don't knock over our fan.
Shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
You know the judge paid for that out of pocket.
Okay, if you would take a seat right up here, please.
God damn you quick.
Mikey the jackass.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's how I pulled it up. It's a perfect.
Oh, damn, broke arm.
Go ahead.
Oh no.
Good morning, Miss Ramos.
Buenos días, señora Ramos.
Buenos días a todos.
Good morning to everyone.
Can you state and spell your name for the record?
¿Podría dar y deletrear su nombre para que conste en actas?
Kind of looks like she's crying.
Amelia Ramos Guzman.
Amelia Ramos Guzman.
Yeah, we understood that.
Perdón.
Doesn't translate to English.
E-L-I-R-A
I'll have to look what she gets.
AMELIRAMOS
Is it a gang show now?
GUZMAN.
FUC.
Fun fact. She's 14 years old. Thank you, Chris, for that breaking news. The
Is
mom
that
here.
Amelia with the A?
Amelia con una A? Yes.
Okay. Okay. And Ms. Ramos, where were you on July 13th, 2002 at approximately 3:10 in the afternoon?
El 13 de julio del 2002, aproximadamente 3:10 de la tarde, ¿dónde se encontraba usted?
Adentro de mi casa.
Inside of my house.
Okay. And what were you doing inside of your house at approximately 3:10 in the afternoon?
¿Qué estaba
Top
haciendo
streamers aren't
dentro de
using
su
mic.
casa
Top.
aproximadamente a las 3:10 de la tarde?
Limpiando mi casa.
Cleaning my house.
Cleaning your house. Okay. And was anyone else home with you on that date at approximately 3:10?
Y ese día, aproximadamente a las 3:10, ¿había alguna otra persona que estaba en casa junto con usted?
No.
No.
And do you recall where Mr. Guzman, your son, was at that time?
¿Recuerda dónde estaba el señor Guzmán, su hijo, en ese momento?
Sí. Me había dicho unos minutos antes que la vecina le había dicho que si le fuera a cortar el árbol, ayudar a cortar unas ramas.
He had asked me a few minutes before.
Hold on a
if the
second. What was the
female-
objection?
Hearsay. ¿Protesta? ¿Cuál
Hold
es la
on.
protesta? Testimonio de terceros. Un momento.
The objection is hearsay. The objection is overruled, subject to a motion to strike. I need to hear the answer.
Tachada, sujeto a un pedimento para tachar. Necesito escuchar la respuesta.
He's running wild.
He had asked me, he had let me know a few minutes before that he was going to be at the female neighbor's house because she had asked him to trim some branches from her tree.
Oh,
Okay, the
come
objection
on.
is overruled.
What a missed opportunity.
Just
Next
leave
question.
Próxima pregunta.
Damn it.
Okay, so you were cleaning your house. What, if anything, caught your attention?
Estaba limpiando su casa. Que si algo captivó su atención.
I could go for 10 minutes.
Sí, escuché voces
I heard voices
y salí.
and I went outside.
Okay. And describe those voices.
Y describa esas voces.
Era la voz de mi vecina
It was the voice of my female neighbor
And
que
an
le decía a
angel.
mi hijo,
that was telling my son,
Córtale aquí, córtale acá. Estaban cortando las ramas del árbol.
you could trim this one here, you could trim this one over there. They were trimming the branches from the tree.
When you heard those voices, what did you do?
Cuando usted escuchó esas voces, ¿qué hizo usted?
Me volví a meter a la casa a
Ah.
seguir limpiando.
I went back inside of my house to continue cleaning.
And then at any point while you're cleaning, did you hear anything else that caused you to go outside?
En algún momento, cuando usted estaba limpiando, ¿escuchó algo más motivo que le haya causado salir para afuera de nuevo?
Sí,
Yes.
escuché como gritos.
I heard something that sounded like yelling.
And then what did you do?
Y luego, ¿qué hizo?
Salí para afuera.
I went outside.
And once you went outside, what did you see?
Y una vez que salió para afuera, ¿qué vio?
Miré a la mitad de la calle.
I saw in the middle of the street.
No me recuerdo bien si mi hijo ya estaba en el suelo o estaba parado.
I don't remember very well if my son was already on the floor or if he was still standing.
Guillermo, mi vecino,
Guillermo, my neighbor,
traía unas tijeras que eran mis tijeras que mi hijo había llevado para allá.
had some pruning shears that belonged to me that my son had taken with him when he went over there.
That's where the shears came into play, Creed. He was trimming bush.
And did you witness Guillermo hit?
Objection leading.
The neighbor ladies.
Sustained. Rephrase, please.
She can't, yeah, she can't answer.
It had been so long they become shrubs.
When you got outside
No reason to scream.
and you seen that Mr. Guillermo had the printing shears in his hands,
No, las traía así.
No, he had them like this.
and then what did you do?
Y luego, ¿qué hizo usted?
Su hermano Horacio
His-
estaba a un lado
His
a un lado
brother.
de su.
The question was, what did you do?
No, la pregunta fue, ¿qué hizo usted?
Ok, yo,
Ok.
yo le dije a, ¿qué está pasando?
I asked, what's happening?
What's that?
And then what happened?
Y luego, ¿qué sucedió?
Ah,
Look out.
Guillermo tiró con las tijeras y me golpeó a mí.
Guillermo swung with the pruning shears and he hit me.
Good thing he didn't take him and just go.
He hit
At
her.
this
So that's
point,
the arm.
did you notice anything about Mr. Guzman, your
En ese
son?
momento notó algo del señor Guzmán o el señor Guzmán.
Sí, estaba escurriendo de sangre de la frente de mi hijo.
Yes, blood was dripping down his face, my son.
Volví a repetirle a Guillermo, espérate.
And I repeated
Move to strike
Guillermo,
everything subsequent, which is no longer
again,
responsive.
wait.
I'm sorry, the objection is moved to strike.
Everything subsequent. She was starting to go into non-responsive answer.
Do you speak Spanish?
I do.
I don't. I have not heard the answer. So let me hear the answer, please.
Escucho la respuesta, por favor.
Oh, that was
Ah,
interesting.
Cuando
Yeah.
yo volteé a ver a
Okay.
mi hijo, ya mi hijo estaba en el
So
suelo
he
y
was able to
estaba
stop
escurriendo
her
sangre de la
before the judge had
When
no
I
idea.
turned to see my son, my son was on the floor and blood was gushing out from his face. And the interpreter would like to make a correction. When the interpreter said dripping earlier, the interpreter meant to say gushing out.
Okay, the objection is overruled. The answer stands. Next question, please.
It was a gusher.
Próxima pregunta, por favor.
And then what happened?
¿Y luego qué pasó?
Le volví a decir a Guillermo que parara
I asked Guillermo once again to stop,
y volvió a darme otra.
and he hit me once again.
How many times did Mr. Guillermo hit you with the tree trimming shears?
¿Cuántas veces le pegó Guillermo a usted con las tijeras para podar el árbol?
Cuando me pegó la segunda vez, yo volteé a decirle a su hermano,
When he hit me the second time, I turned to tell his brother,
ya que su hermano traía un cuchillo en la mano también, y
since his
yo,
brother also had a knife in his hand,
le dije que lo calmara, que le quitara las tijeras.
and I told him to calm him down to take away the pruning shears from him.
She's a way better witness, even though she doesn't speak English. We are finding out
Ms.
a lot
Ramos,
more.
How many times in all were you struck with the trimming shears by Mr. Guillermo?
Le dijo el señor Guillermo a usted con las tijeras de podar. ¿Cuántas
No me
veces?
recuerdo si fueron 2 o 3,
I do
pero mis dos manos estaban golpeadas.
I do not remember if it was 2 or 3 times, but both of my hands had been hit.
Both of my hands, what?
Had been hit.
Thank you.
She said, I blocked
And were
that
you
shit
struck
every
with the
time.
metal end or the plastic end?
Y le dieron con la punta de metal o con la punta de plástico.
Con la punta.
With the tip.
Okay.
Just the tip.
And were you injured as a result of being hit multiple times with the tree trimming shears?
Lesionada debido a que le dieron varias veces
Objection
con las tijeras para
Vegas, the
podar.
phrasing
Protesta, pregunta ambigua.
misstates her testimony, said multiple times.
She said she was hit 2 or 3 times. That's multiple. The objection is overruled. Were you injured?
Protesta rechazada. ¿Quedó usted lesionada?
Sí.
Yes.
Did you have to have surgery to repair the damage?
Objection leading.
Tuvo que tener cirugía para
Objection
reparar el daño.
overruled. You can
Protesta,
answer.
Protesta rechazada. Puede contestar.
Mick Foley, a friend of the Creative Submission
Yes.
Show, by the way.
Good friend. She's crying.
Parece que había destrozado mi hueso de la
We knew
muñeca.
it was coming.
Yes, my wrist bone had been
Shattered.
Ouch.
And Mr. Guzman, your son, was already on the ground. Is that correct?
Y el señor
Objection
Guzmán, su
leading.
hijo, ya estaba tendido sobre el piso, ¿cierto? Protesta.
Overruled. You can
Protesta
answer.
rechazada, puede contestar.
Sí,
Yes.
Okay.
This court moves at a good pace. If you think what just happened there, he's translating. He objects.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes, señor Brennan.
It goes really well.
Ma'am, you spoke with a Turlock police officer that day, didn't you?
Señor, usted habló con un oficial de policía del departamento de policía de Turlock ese día, ¿cierto?
sí.
Yes.
And that was Officer Gomez?
¿Y ese fue el oficial Gómez?
No me recuerdo su apellido ni su nombre.
I don't remember
Estaba muy asustada, estaba en shock. No sé.
the name or the last name. I was
Okay.
very scared. I was in shock. I don't know.
Move to strike everything after. I don't remember the last name.
Sustained. The objection is
She's had her
sustained.
wrist
The answer is
shattered. Of course, she
stricken
doesn't
after
remember
the first portion of
the
the
cop's
answer.
name.
Try again, please.
And the officer that you spoke with you in Spanish, correct?
El oficial con el que habló con usted en español, ¿cierto?
Sí.
Yes.
And you told the officer that you have no idea why your son went to your neighbor's residence, correct?
Que no tenía ninguna idea motivo por el cual su hijo fue a la residencia de los vecinos, ¿cierto?
No, no es verdad.
No, that is not true.
No.
And you also, would you be surprised to know that there's body camera video of your conversation with that officer?
Cuenta que hay un video de la cámara corporal que usted tuvo, de la conversación que usted tuvo con él.
Okay, hold on a second. She is there for the defense, correct? Like, she's saying everything. I'm confused all of a sudden.
All right. So she's the mother of.
I thought the other two, right?
Flush
she
clear it up for us.
Is she the mother of the guy sitting there at the end?
I, for some reason, thought it got to be right because of the way that he's.
The way he's now
he's
starting to
coming
pick
at
her up. Yeah, he's coming at her, picking her apart, and he's.
So that's the mother of the dude in the stripes, though.
So now we're saying that those other two dudes, the
Why did I
brothers,
think the other
attacked
way
her
around?
as well.
So you know, if you just look at it real quick, it's almost like the wrong person may be in stripes.
Come find out. But
damn,
he's about to pick her apart. So let's get ready for that.
Or if he was already there. That's what I told him.
And you told him that your son was in front of the neighbor's residence, correct?
Le dijo que su hijo estaba enfrente de la residencia de los vecinos, ¿cierto?
Estaban entre medio de su casa de ellos y entre medio de la de nosotros.
They were in between their house and ours,
La media calle.
in the middle of the street.
Our house.
You told the officer that you walked to your son and asked what was going on, correct?
Usted se le acercó a su hijo y le preguntó qué estaba pasando, ¿cierto?
No.
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 And you said that
Mark the backer.
you
No.
stood near your son as Guillermo attempted to hit your son with the shears, correct?
Cuando Guillermo trató de pegar a su hijo con las tijeras de podar, ¿cierto?
No. Puedo decirlo, ¿verdad? Cuando yo salí
No.
y yo
I'm going to say
dije,
the truth. When I went outside,
yo dije, ¿qué está pasando?
I asked, what's going on?
Yo me acerqué a donde estaba mi hijo y mi vecino Guillermo.
I got near
Guillermo
my son
ajá.
and the neighbor, Guillermo.
Yo les pregunté, no pregunté específicamente a nadie, pregunté qué está pasando,
and I
porque
asked them-
estaba Horacio.
I asked, not anybody in particular, but I just asked what was going on.
And your son had a knife in his hand at the time, correct?
Y su hijo tenía un cuchillo en la mano en ese
No,
momento, ¿cierto?
el cuchillo lo tenía Horacio.
No, Horacio had the knife.
So your statement is that Horacio had taken the knife from your son at that point?
Pero entonces es que Horacio le había quitado el cuchillo a su
Objection.
hijo.
No lo sé.
Protesta. I don't know.
Misstates testimony.
I don't know.
The objection is sustained. Try again, Mr. Brennan.
Trate de nuevo.
And you told the officer that you stood near your son
Dijo el oficial que usted estaba
and
cerca de su
Guillermo
hijo.
unintentionally hit you twice,
Guillermo,
correct?
sin la intención de querer darle a usted, le dio 2 veces, ¿cierto?
Estábamos en triángulo, no estaba, yo no me puse en medio, yo le dije al oficial.
We were in a triangle form. I was
Estaba
not in
en
the
el
middle.
triángulo, ajá.
And then I told the officer,
Ujú. Y yo le dije, Guillermo, espérate.
Triangle.
I told
Y
him,
él no se esperó, él tiró un golpe.
I said, Guillermo, hold on. But he didn't hold on. He swung.
El policía me preguntó, Guillermo quiso atacarla a usted, la estaba atacando a usted.
And the officer asked me, did Guillermo try to attack you?
Le
Did he
dije,
attack you?
Ujú. Y yo le dije, estoy diciendo que yo estaba ahí a un lado y yo le dije que parara y no paró y tiró un golpe.
And I told him I was there right to the side, and I told him to stop, and he didn't stop, and then he swung.
Volví a decirle, para y tiró otro golpe.
I told him once again, stop, and then he swung again.
Volteé y le dije a su hermano,
I turned,
quítale las tijeras.
and I told his brother, take away the shears from him.
Su hermano no hizo caso.
His brother did not listen.
Y yo lo que hice fue al levantar a mi hijo,
So
yo
what I-
agarré a mi hijo con mi mano
What I did is I grabbed my son with
Sustained.
my
Y
hands
me lo
and I
llevé
tried to
jalando
lift
para mi
him up,
casa.
The
and I
objection
dragged him
is
to my house.
sustained.
Protesta aceptada.
Mr. Wright.
Pido que se tache.
The answer is stricken. It hasn't been interpreted yet, so the answer is stricken. Ask
Is
another
the
question.
interpreter too good?
And you told the
Like,
I don't know about being too good, but with him, the prosecutor understanding Spanish, he's always trying to step one step ahead with what she's saying, which isn't given. Yeah, but it isn't given the defense a
don't.
chance to hear it or the judge to hear it without him stopping her, because he's got a strategic advantage that he can stop her if he thinks
does.
she's saying something she shouldn't be.
but did you notice? And that's why I say, like, this dude's kind of a pro, the interpreter. He hasn't stopped. He just keeps going because that
He's
is
a
his
machine,
job.
yeah. He's a
Everything
machine.
that has been said needs to be said. So this is such an interesting case.
Guillermo la golpeó.
The officer asked me, did Guillermo hit you?
Guillermo quiso golpearla.
Did Guillermo try to
Strike
hit you?
is non-responsive.
Pido que
It's
se
a
tache.
yes or no, Your
No
Honor.
atingente. Es una
Okay.
respuesta que requiere sí o no.
Just a second,
Un
just a minute.
Un momento.
When the attorneys interrupt, please give me an opportunity to tell you whether or not you need to answer.
Una oportunidad
The
de
objection is
decirle,
sustained. I'm going to ask
no.
Mr. Brennan to ask you another question.
Nada, le voy a pedir al señor Brennan que le haga otra pregunta.
Ma'am, I'm going to ask you to answer with a yes or no. Can you do that,
Que
please?
conteste con un sí o
Ask
con
the
un
question
no.
again,
Si
please.
lo puede hacer, por favor. Okay.
You told the officer that
Usted
you
le
did
dijo al
not
oficial
believe
que usted
Guillermo
no
intended to hurt you,
creía
and you
que
declined
Guillermo
prosecution against
tenía la
him,
intención
correct?
de lastimarla a usted
Yes or no?
y que usted declinó que lo procesaran a él penalmente. ¿Sí o no?
No.
No.
Got her.
I have no further questions, subject to recall.
Ms. Hankins?
No
Got
further
her.
questions, Your Honor.
I have a question.
He's asking everything he already knows the answer to from the body cam footage.
This-
He's going to catch her in a lie, and it's going to just throw him the case right out the window.
Well, that's what No
Guzman.
Bummer just said. Do you really think she doesn't?
When you came out of the
understand
house the
body cam?
second time,
Cuando usted salió de la casa la segunda vez,
Louisiana Dub. great
where
to see you.
was your
Been a
son?
while,
¿dónde
but
estaba su hijo?
No me recuerdo si él estaba parado o él ya estaba en el suelo.
I don't remember if he was standing up or if he was already on the ground.
Me
My
asusté
question is,
mucho.
where was
I
he?
got very scared.
Was he in the driveway, on the street, in the yard? Where was he when he first came out
¿Dónde estaba él cuando usted
the second time?
salió, en cuanto usted salió la segunda vez?
En la calle.
In the street.
BRB.
Did you ever see him near the truck?
¿En algún momento lo vio a él cerca de la troca?
No.
No.
Anybody have a question based on my questions?
¿Tiene alguna pregunta basada en
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Brennan?
No, su señoría, señor Brennan.
I guess I'm a little confused about whether she knows what truck you're talking
Si es
about.
que
So
sabe
I might want to
cuál
clarify that.
troca se refiere. Puede ser buena que clarifique.
Fair enough.
¿A cuál troca se le- oh.
Well, I'll let you ask that question if you like.
Que usted haga esa pregunta.
Did you see a truck in your neighbor's driveway?
¿Vio usted una troca en el driveway de sus vecinos?
Sí.
Yes.
About how far was your son from that truck when he was in the street, when you stepped out of the house?
Cuando su hijo estaba en la calle, cuando usted salió de la casa y él estaba en la calle, ¿como qué distancia quedaba su hijo de esa troca?
Como a unos 10 pasos, 11 pasos.
About 10 steps away, 11 steps away.
You would agree your son was behaving a little strangely that day?
¿Y estaría usted de acuerdo en decir que su hijo se estaba comportando algo raro ese día?
No.
No.
Nothing further, subject to recall.
No tengo
Ms.
preguntas,
Hankins?
pero quede sujeta a
No
que la
further
volvamos a
questions, Your Honor.
tocar.
All right, thank you, Ms. Guzman. You can step down. Please wait in the hallway and do not discuss your testimony until this hearing has been completed. Ms. Hankins, would you like to call another witness?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Brennan, does anybody else need the services of the interpreter?
Not that I know of.
All right, so we'll call you again if we need to recall this witness. Thank you. Mr. Brennan, are you calling a rebuttal witness? Okay. Ms. Henry, is
Louisiana
your
Cup,
film going to
somebody
go?
wants to give you the cliff notes in the chat.
Is it with
there's
Mr. Brennan?
So much to this. It was a fight
Mr. Brennan, no one is,
with a knife
there's only one DA handling the calendar today?
and other
Yes.
things. It's been a crazy one.
All right.
From what I understand.
Okay, before we call this witness, Mr. Brennan, is anyone assisting with Department 3's calendar today?
I've got all of it except for any specialty cases that I'm not aware of.
That would have been a great question.
Okay, just a minute. Before you take the stand, I want to see if there's anything I can send to another department.
Yeah, it's been
I
pretty
have
crazy
remaining, this is off the record.
and confusing.
Reina Lopez, Franco, Haro,
I used to have a
Saleh,
bike with my Haro.
Saleh. You have all those?
Except for the first one, I don't see a Reina in there. Let me take a quick look, make sure it's not hidden. Yeah, I don't see a Reina in the files, but everything else I've got.
I'm guessing we'll be able
Okay.
to see this one. too.
All right, come on up. We're back on the record.
Following same testimony shall be on the matter, not before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Look at these.
Right.
lips.
We recalling somebody?
Stern is the man.
I just found a couple of Tradio drops, but they're not that good.
Good morning.
Oh,
Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
Gustavo Gomez, Gustavo
Gustavo.
Where are you employed, sir?
I'm a police officer at Turlock Police Department.
How long have you been a California peace officer?
About 7 years now.
Were you on duty as a Turlock police officer on July 13th, 2022 at about a little after 3 p.m.?
I was.
And did you respond to the area of 501 East F Street in Turlock?
Yes, I did.
And why did you respond to that location?
I was asked to assist in translating a statement.
He did do his perfect
And,
timing, actually.
was that from a witness named Amelia Ramos?
It was.
And how is your Spanish speaking ability?
They're good.
Are you fluent?
Fluent, yes.
And did she identify herself as in relationship to the defendant?
Yes, as his mother.
And did you ask her about what she'd seen that day?
I did.
And I'd like to take you to her statement with
On a
respect
date.
to what she saw when she exited her residence. What did she tell you she saw?
She saw her son and the victims of this case, Guillermo and Horacio, her neighbors, out in the middle of the street.
And what residence were they in front of?
In front of their residence, in front of the neighbor's residence.
And did she tell you whether her son was standing or not?
He was standing.
And did she tell you what she did?
She got in between her son and the two neighbors.
And what happened next?
As when she was standing between them, Guillermo was trying to strike the defendant with shears, printer shears, and he ended up striking her.
And did she say how that happened, how she ended up getting hit?
Like I said, she was trying to, she got in between both groups while Guillermo was trying to attack
She got in the middle.
the defendant.
And did she tell you whether she believed Guillermo intended to hurt her?
She said no. She said it was an accident and she didn't wish any prosecution against him.
And
Interesting.
did she tell you whether she believed Guillermo had struck her intentionally or unintentionally?
She said it was an accident, unintentionally.
And after seeing her son being arrested, did she change any statements to you?
She did. After seeing her son being arrested, she told me, if my son's getting arrested, then I want to press charges against Guillermo.
Oh, I see.
At any point, did she tell you anything about her son being on the ground?
No.
Nothing further. Thank you.
Ms. Hankins?
When you interviewed Miss Ramos, did you interview her while she was still in the back of an ambulance?
No, she was outside in front of her residence.
She was in front of her residence?
Yes.
Okay. And let me see.
Uh-oh. Not good. How would she not know that if she's seen the body cam footage?
Did she tell
She's
you
had
how
to
many
see it.
times that Guillermo had hit her with those trauma shear or tree trimming shears?
I don't think so. No, she didn't tell me how many times she got struck, but she was already bandaged up, so I couldn't see the injuries.
Well, isn't it true that she actually told you she was hit more than once, at least twice?
I think it was 2 times. She had 2 cuts.
Okay. And she did change her mind and wanted to prosecute Mr. Guillermo Vega. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you told her you just forwarded it to the DA's office?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
Mr. Brennan?
Nothing further.
I have a question.
Yes,
Did
ma'am.
Ms. Guzman ever indicate that she saw,
What about the cocaine?
did Ms. Guzman ever indicate whether or not she saw Mr. Horatio Vega with a knife?
She did say that.
Right. Anybody have a question based on my questions?
No.
No, Your Honor.
All right, you can step down. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Really love this judge.
Yeah. She's
Right.
really
Mr.
thorough.
Brennan,
I
any
like her a
additional
lot.
Very much
witnesses?
so. Very much
Ms.
so.
Hankins?
No, Your
She-
Honor.
Comments?
Just a minute.
It just
Really?
Any comments?
it's very
Ms.
obvious that she's
Hankins?
very invested in what's going on.
You know, I'm going to submit, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Brennan, what evidence did I hear to support that the powdery substance that was found folded up in the dollar bill turned out to be cocaine?
Here's my colleague did not get the DOJ results to defense.
Okay. All right. So it
He
does appear
snorted
to the
the
court that the
evidence.
offense charged in count 1 has been committed and that Mr. Rodolfo Guzman Ramos is guilty of same. He'll be held to answer to a violation of Penal Code Section 245A1 as alleged in count 1. No holding order on the misdemeanor. Arraignment will take place in the
That's what I
Superior
got.
Court on
Well, I'd love to see the arraignment, but gotta say, that was a
Oh,
hell
the
of a
calendar
case.
is different. Okay, I got it. I have it. I'm like, there's no October. October 20th, 8:30, Department 3.
That calendar is
Bill remains as set.
Wow.
Hey, Ms. Henry, do you have anything I can call before we start your prelim?
Judge Richard Ball. I guess that's it. Yeah, they're getting them and
Okay,
going.
let's take
I
care
feel
of
like
people
we
that are out of custody before we call the FTAs, please.
I feel like we've seen Judge Dick Ball before. Wow. Very luxurious courtroom.
I like the
one-
COVID pods over there too. It's
Oh, that's for when they freeze over the courtroom and it becomes a hockey rink.
it looks it, doesn't it? That was apparently quite a confusing case. Jesus Christ.
A lot of moving parts. I was very surprised about the whole thing about her not wanting to press charges after he had shattered her wrist. But then when she saw her son getting arrested, changed her
Everything
mind.
changed. Everything changed then.
Went crazy. If you are new here, first time coming through, we do this every day, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Just jump from courtroom to courtroom. Tomorrow's Friday, which is very exciting. If Friday continues on trend, Judge Manning will be on with PTOs. Those, which the last one we posted of Judge Manning PTO.
Church is about to start.
All rise. Has over 4,000 views, which is very good for our court cases. Very, very good.
Yeah, that's huge. It's time. Thank you. So glad to see you. So glad you're here.
Thank you, Gerginsky.
Thank you, is Greg.
Greg Gaganius.
It's time for choir.
Don't forget, we have Thirsty Thursday today. Creed, it is Thursday. So all of our stuff over on We Got to Chase at 405. Drunks, inebriated people, folks that have slipped under and maybe took substances they should not have taken.
Cocaine.
Did you not even put up Judge Alex's picture when we were talking, or Judge Manning? Yeah.
Judge, by the way, she'll get called sir many, many times during court.
I think every time that we go over to her court, though, I think we do need to put everybody in the chat needs to put in how many times while we're watching that she gets called sir.
My top 3 interviews I want from We Got a Case. I want Judge Herman Marbell.
Mm-hmm.
I want Sue.
Mm-hmm.
And I want Judge Alex Manning.
I agree. Do judges do interviews? Good
to
luck
be
with that one.
Sure, they do. We seen Judge Herman doing one from his car. Remember, he was driving around with a sign on top of his car trying to get reelected.
Good afternoon. I'm District Judge Herman Marable from 67th District Court here in Flint.
But it would be cool to talk to Sue and kind of get an idea of how it is working there and what happens in that room and why are you so loud?
And when would they get you a new telephone?
Oh, the old ringer. All right, guys, we'll see you at 4:05. Like Mikey said, Thirsty Thursday is up next. Don't forget tomorrow, of course, court, Florida Friday, and members only.
Oh,
rounding out the week.
Stacked the day tomorrow. We'll see you back here soon. If you haven't already liked this video, please take a second to do so and consider going over and subscribing to our We Got a Case YouTube channel. That's only case stuff right there on that channel. Until next time, credence. Something.
Isn't happy hour anytime?
Good enough.
I'll do. I like that one to go with our hallelujah.
Yeah.
Amen. Amen. I say amen.